is Critical from Critical Media. Kind of doing a little bit of a different video today because apparently, when I looked at my messages this morning, the channel reached 100 subscribers. So, first and foremost, thank you to everyone who came by this humble channel, and I appreciate you all for giving it a view. And in that light, I was just going to do a bit of a celebration with some Amazon.ca gift cards. So, it's the typical YouTube jargon. 3 folks who have subscribed and also followed on Twitter. I'll basically DM 3 lucky folks with some gift card codes. So good on y'all. And also, as another memo, y'all folks don't see my face ever. So in that light, I wanted to kind of do that this time and maybe do a quick Q&A. So ever since November, at least when I have been reviewing emails for the channel, quite a lot. As a matter of fact, a lot regarding ASMR. In a nutshell, I'll just say this. No, I don't do ASMR. I'm just pretty much leaving it at that. If that's your bag, good on you. Just not my flavor. Anyways, I guess on to the more pertinent questions here. Where did Cridical come from and where are you from? Okay, well, my real name's Chris. I'm leaving it at that. But that kind of harkens to the name as well, Cridical. It's kind of a baby name my mom gave me, but it has a double meaning because I'm a very analytical person. Like, I like to read into things and play devil's advocate. Even as a kid, as a brief little story, Superman 78 was on, the Richard Donner one, and I remember I was in the living room and I said it out loud when Superman catches Lois and the helicopter for save. And I remember saying, wouldn't that have hurt her or killed her? And my dad, without skipping a beat, said, boy, you read into things well too much, yes? So, in a matter of speaking, that's basically what he said. So, that's pretty much how it kept going on. And it's been my online handle since like Counter-Strike and early PS2 online days, So, I guess that's where the name comes from, Cridical. Let's see here. Oh, yes, I'm just a humble Canuck from Toronto. So, I guess Canadian Cridical. But other than that, I guess this next question here is pretty good. How did you get into comics? Or, I guess, the interest of comics. Not in the industry, but I'm just like you, just a fan of the medium. And I guess, I was born in the late 80s, grew up in the 90s. You know where this is probably going to go. Batman the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series, which turned out to be 2 of my favorite comic books, period, as well. Like Boyd Kirkland, Andrea Romano, Bruce Timm, and Eric Radomski, by the way, unsung hero, if you ask me. Those people just shaped my vocabulary, and they were almost like a class to go to, Every episode's so good. And X-Men, I can't believe how faithful, or at least how it attempted to be very faithful to the comics. It's like some stories you're surprised you're hearing about, like segregation and profiling and all that. And Caleb Dodd, you will always be my Wolverine. After all, everybody imitates you. You clearly are. But anywho, that's another thing. Oh, and he's from Toronto too. But anywho, I guess I detracted a little bit. But if it's about comics themselves, I was always reading Star Wars comics from Dark Horse. By the way, Dark Horse, love ya. They basically shaped episodes 7, 8, 9 all the way up until Legacy with like Cade Skywalker. So they basically shaped the future of Star Wars for me, and I loved every little bit of it. Marvel's doing a damn good job with the license again, and I do appreciate that they gave some licenses to Dark Horse recently, so good for them. Ultimately, I'll get into the other aspect later, the other comic book that got me back in. But I walked away for a bit, and only until going into college, when I took a course called Meaning in the Medium, did I really gain a new appreciation. So, in that class, they were basically promoting, you don't disqualify a story or a story's catharsis because of its medium. So, you don't disqualify a TV show over a film, just like you shouldn't disqualify a comic book over a novel. So the surprising thing about the class, though, was that the textbooks were actually graphic novels and comics. And can you believe when you read a class textbooks listing, you're seeing Dark Knight Returns as one of your books? literally the book that got me back into comics. Literally, because this was the first book of the class. And the second book, go figure, I guess it shouldn't surprise, Alan Moore, Dave Gibbons, Watchmen. So I guess kind of a cliche at this point, but there's a reason why it's a cliche. It's so damn good. Like, this stayed in my backpack for like over a year. Riding the bus, I would just read this all the time. So awesome in both senses. And it kind of I guess, gave me the bug back, the comic book bug, and that's when I started reading books more often and took on this mantra of reading the first 60 issues of major characters. And I guess that kind of leads into the next question of like, how do I read my comics? So what I did in like 2007, 8, 9, the college years, was basically read the first 5 years digitally. And I still do that even today through Comixology and whatnot. And I do that a lot for manga as well. That's how I read Berserk all the way up until the end. And in that light, what's it called? Yeah, I always am a firm believer of that. Always, I would say, don't commit to a trade or a graphic novel unless you've sampled it, either at your LCS or online. And I feel like online, the accessibility got so much better in the early 2010s and whatnot, that it just made it easier and more comfortable for me. So I could just read it on my phone, on the go kind of thing. Heck, I just read Batman the Knight, the Zdarsky one. So, yeah, ultimately that's where it's at. But yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Okay, here's probably a quick one. Who do you prefer of the big two? I guess that's DC and Marvel. Neither. You tell a damn good story, I will make damn well sure I read it. So I don't care if it's DC, Marvel, Image, Fantagraphics, Dark Horse, Viz Media, Chicago Ken, whatever. You make it good, I'll like it. You know? And that's another thing. Never let, your bias, your favorites dissuade you from, crossing the fence and, maybe getting a taste of what's on the other side with a different publisher, Just pay for it. Anywho, yeah, I guess that was a short but sweet one. Here comes a very difficult question from somebody named Green Velvet. This is the worst question ever because I don't know how to answer it. Your favorite books. So not fair. This deserves its own question. This deserves its own video, sorry. And as does the next question, who are your favorite authors? I'm just going to take a mulligan on both. And how about this? Because I said it already, because it's very true, actually. Yeah, The Dark Knight Returns. This is literally the same college book. Like, I consider this one of the pillars of my library. So, yeah, definitely up there for me. And another mulligan, but it's very true because I read a lot of his just straight up novels, his literary works. Alan Moore. The man has so many diverse stories. You don't have to agree with his own personal philosophies, but he could damn well put it on paper very damn well, Frank Miller would have been up there too, but, Holy Terror, I'm not a fan of that story. I wasn't a fan of Batman Strikes Again, Dark Knight Strikes Again. But then again, a lot of artists, or should I say a lot of authors, can have misses. I mean, look at Grant Morrison. I feel like he has a lot of misses, but he does have hits anyway. Whereas these authors, I feel like, have way more hits than misses. It's just my opinion. Take it for what you will, right? But yeah, I'm just going to take a mulligan on those two. Those are definitely worth their own videos. And I guess the last question here, who's your favorite character? Well, I guess I kind of have my top three here. You'll notice I have the question here instead of Batman because, yes, I love the veracity and the themes of the question where, sometimes he saves the day, but it's not the way you think. Like, bad things still happen, but you get your rays of sunshine where you can. And that's kind of where I like the question. It's very believable because that's very real worldish. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. How often does that happen? As I mentioned earlier, I love Star Wars, so yes, I guess celestial things always tickle the ego, and yep, Silver Surfer fits the nobility, tragic hero arc. Like, he's basically the Red Cross Knight, but in space. How can you not love the guy? So yeah, he's definitely up there for me. He hits all the themes I love. Let's just put it that way. I could go in depth with that. As a matter of fact, I will be doing a video on Silver Surfer soon. But anywho, and lastly, you may have noticed the OG Captain Marvel. This is kind of what I was hinting at earlier, where he is my number one favorite superhero. right outside of a grocery store. It's one of the few times my mom bought me a comic book. She never used to spend money like that on me. Not say she would spend $1 on me. I just mean buying a comic book. But yeah, like Captain Marvel just fits every perfect reason to read a comic book. He is, to me, the best embodiment of superheroes, in my personal opinion. He's catered to the target audience. He fulfills the target audience. It's me. I love it. But hey, it's not so much about me, I guess, anymore at this point. I'm just happy you all decided to, reach this channel up to 100 subscribers. Thank you once again, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. And hey, if you don't like it, it's all good. It's always about your opinion at the end of the day. But hey, y'all folks take care and enjoy the rest of your day.